Hi, my name is Mauricio Arias and welcome to the EarFist channel in English. EarFist is the name of the method I have created to teach ear training and also a little bit of musical theory, but only to support what we see in the ear training method. The videos in this channel are going to be about three main things. 1. To explain how the method works and the foundations of it. 2. Giving you some tips that I think may help you with the ear training process, and 1 or 2 if you are the professor. 3. I'm going to show you some parts of my classes so you can see how the method works in action and the general dynamic and disposition of the classes. So, being this the first video, let's talk about one of the main principles of the method. Let's begin. The basic principle of the method is quite simple. We are looking for a balance between reason and feeling. When we study music, it's undeniable that the reason is in charge of the theory, right? But, at least in my method, the feeling is the one in charge of the ear training. Again, feeling is in charge of the ear training part and not the reason. Think of it as this. Don't think. Be quiet and just feel. I know this might sound strange for some of you, so let me explain myself with an example. Let's imagine that for any given reason, we put our finger into boiling oil. What anyone is going to do is to first take out the finger and then you say whatever colors you like and I burned my finger, oh, how it hurts, right? So let's study what just has happened. First, we have an impulse, we have a stimulus. Almost immediately, we react to that stimulus. It only takes the amount of time the nervous system needs to take the information from one spot to the other, right? So, the stimulus is the boiling oil. The feeling created by that stimulus is the burning finger. So, we first react to the feeling and then after we put the label on it. We say, I got burned, yeah? No one is going to let the finger sitting in the oil while thinking, oh my goodness, I think perhaps my finger is starting to burn. I should take it out right about now. And then proceed taking it out, right? The normal thing to do is to first react to the initial feeling and then put the label on. Is that understood? From this, it's very hard to ever forget what it means to burn a finger and how it feels. What we look for when we are learning any musical process is exactly the same thing, to relate a feeling and a name with any musical event. Of course, in the method, this is done in a more natural and fun way and without any bias. So, for example, when I play an interval, I focus tremendously on what do you feel when I play and what is the difference in your feelings when I play one interval or another. Once you really feel a difference between these two intervals, we can put the name on it. We can put the label, like there's a fifth, there's a fourth, and so on. Now, you may be asking yourself, and what are the advantages of studying like this? Well, for me, there are plenty of advantages of studying like this, but if I had to choose only one, I will say that the greatest advantage of studying like this is that this brings a very much needed harmony between feeling and reason, because it's very common that in our path of becoming a musician, we forget that we started with the music because we love this. So the method can be a portal for you to see again the music with love without forgetting your knowledge and making your knowledge and your feeling one again. Now, let's talk about the general structure of the method.
The general structure of the method.
I divide the ear training process into 5 main parts, and those 5 parts together form the ear fist. These 5 parts are the perfect pitch, the intervallic ear, the melodic ear, the harmonic ear, and the inner ear.
1. The perfect pitch.
The perfect pitch is not as incredibly hard or impossible to learn as we tend to believe. In the internet, it is commonly said that you can only born with it, or you might be able to develop it if you are 8 years old or below that. But let's think about this for a second. Try to think of all the people you have met since you were 8 till now, the date you are watching this video. I assume it's a lot of people, no? Now, among all of these people, try to think how many of them you could recognize without seeing them, like by picking up the phone or something like. Now, added to this, try to think of all the sounds you can recognize in your environment, like the microwave, the fridge, the washing machine, if you have a broken lamp that is always doing a bzzing sound, your keys, etc. There are lots of sounds that we can recognize just by hearing them, right? And plenty of them we have been listening to after we were 8. So why aren't you going to be able to learn only 12 notes?
2. The intervallic ear.
The intervallic ear is the one we use to recognize intervals. For those of you that don't know, an interval is how we measure the distances in the musical world. They are like the centimeters and meters or feet and yards of our physical world.
3. The melodic ear.
The melodic ear is the way we recognize melodies. But in this ear, it's very important to say that we are always going to be combining two different ways of listening, depending of how the melodies are constructed. For example, if the melodies are tonal, we are going to be combining the perfect pitch with the tonal relationships of the scale grids. But if the melodies are non-tonal or atonal, we are going to be combining the perfect pitch with the intervallic ear.
4. The harmonic ear.
The harmonic ear training takes care of the vertical structures of the music. In other words, the chords and the relationships between them depending on what system are we studying. It can be tonal system, it can be modal system, etc. And lastly,
The inner ear.
the inner ear refers to the ability to listen and hear inside your head whatever you are reading, or it allows you to compose in your head without the need of any external reference. It's a very, very useful ear for conductors, composers, and also for instrument players if they know how to use it. I think this is enough for today. I hope you have liked the video and learned something. If this is the case, please hit the like button, remember to subscribe, and see you all on the next video. Please have a nice day, a nice evening, and a good night. See you soon.